9. You have received a message from biochemistry stating that the blood sample you took earlier that day on a patient was mislabeled. This patient is due to go to theatre tomorrow morning. Rank in order the following actions in response to this situation. 1 equals most appropriate, 5 equals least appropriate. A. Fill in a blood form and place it in the phlebotomist's slot for tomorrow morning. B. Fill in a blood form and hand it to the ward sister. C. Add to your to-do list a repeat blood sample on the patient, ensuring it is taken today. D. Immediately go and retake the blood from the patient. E. Write in the patient notes that the blood bottle was mislabeled. Answer: CDBAE 1. The key issues to consider are as follows. The blood needs to be retaken before the next morning's surgery, but although it is important, it is not an emergency. You must ensure it happens on time. As such, any options which consist solely of passing on a message without a clear idea of the deadline, or which run the risk of the deadline being missed, should be ranked down. 2. Documenting, option E, is important as it will ensure that there is a clear trail. However, the option does not involve retaking the sample, and as such it does not actually resolve the problem. Since all the other options ensure that the blood is taken again, option E will rank last. Option A, getting the phlebotomist to retake the blood the next morning, will come too late. It therefore ranks fourth. 3. Option B, handing the form to the ward sister, is not ideal because you have not given her a deadline. However, there is a better chance that it will get done on time than if you simply get the phlebotomist to do the test the following morning, option A. Therefore, option B ranks over option A. 4. Option D, taking the blood yourself immediately. And option C, ensuring it gets done at some time today. Both ensure that the blood is taken again on time. Both options will ensure that the mistake is corrected. However, since the situation is not an emergency, the sample needs to be taken before surgery, that is before the next day, but that doesn't mean that you have to drop everything else for it. There is scope to conclude that option C is more realistic and therefore more appropriate than option D. It is snowing and you are on call today for general medicine. You are not a confident driver in snowy conditions and do not feel safe to drive to work. Rank in order the following actions in response to this situation. 1 equals most appropriate, 5 equals least appropriate. A. Inform your registrar, ST3, that you may be late and try to get to work by public transport. B. Attempt to drive to work at a slow pace. C. Call your registrar, ST3, and explain that you are not a confident driver and will wait for the conditions to clear before setting off. D. Call your registrar, ST3, and explain that you are not confident driving in snowy conditions and will not be able to come in today. E. Call your registrar, ST3, and inform him that you will not be coming in as you are not feeling well. Answer: CDBAE. This scenario tests your honesty, your reliability, your impact on others, and your ability to communicate. As a doctor, you have a responsibility to get to work. It is in your patient's interest to ensure that there is appropriate cover. If you can't get to work, then you need to ensure that patient care is not compromised. Overriding all that is your own safety. Poor, a foundation program 1. Calling in sick, option E, is dishonest. It is the least appropriate option. 2. Driving to work if you're not confident in snowy conditions, option B, could put your life and others at risk. This should be avoided as much as possible. That option ranks fourth on the basis that it is potentially unsafe, though if you decide to drive, you will probably be more inclined to be extra careful in view of the poor road conditions. Driving slowly will also limit the risk. Option B is better than option E because the risk is limited by the slow speed and it is more honest. 3. The remaining 3 options all involve communicating with the registrar honestly on different grounds. Option A equals try public transport. Option C equals wait and see. Option D equals not coming in. Option D essentially means you have given up and therefore you are not demonstrating that you are trying your best to fulfill your responsibilities. Option C at least shows that you're willing to give it a go. And in option A, you are actually trying to find an alternative to your troubles. The ranking of those 3 options should therefore be A, C, D.